Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda. Today we are playing with May I Scraplift You, and we're scraplifting Rhonda at rhonda.scrapbooks on Instagram. And this is the picture that I pulled out, and then these are the pictures that I'm going to scrapbook. So I did screenshot Rhonda's layout with all of the beautiful snowflakes, which inspired me to pull out this stencil and all my different snowflakes and some of my frames because, yeah, she's got a frame on her picture and a lot of snowflakes. So I'm looking at the kind of blues that I have, and so I'm going to pull out this one, and it's an oxide. I think it's broken china. And I try and use my dauber first on this really fine stencil, and the stencil is from the Crafter's Workshop, but it looks daubery and I don't like it. I'm gonna do like this whole one side on it, and it just doesn't go down as nice as it could, and yuck. So I'm gonna turn it over and then start again, and I'm gonna grab a brush. So this is I'm not sure which one it is because it's blue. I have some Spellbinder ones, I have some of these ones, I have some dollar store makeup brushes too that I use. Yeah, all of them work pretty much as well. So anyways, I'm just putting the ink down first in some of the middle of the snowflakes and then brushing it out so that it has more of an ombre effect in some of those middle places. I'm not perfect at it, but it's all good. And then the middle part you're not really going to see anyway, but not a big deal. And then just doing the same thing, getting that middle column done like Rhonda has. So and then just doing a couple of snowflakey bits out the end and doing a little bit of a smudge just so that it's not a harsh line. And I really like that. And that was an oxide, not a distress ink. So, and then I pulled out some of my wintry themed stamps, and so I've got this cute little penguin that I have not used before, and I believe Rhonda has a snowman on hers, and so I'm going to use the penguin in place of the snowman. And so I'm using my archival ink and my platform because I want it to ink nice. So that's pretty dark and nice, and put those back on here right away. And then I'm going to pull out this was an old set too. I thought about that close to my heart one, but I like these snowflakes. And so I am going to stamp a bunch of them with this Catherine Pooler ink. It is a blended one. It's pigment and dye, which worked a little different. And so I'm just playing it out with this first. I do have the dyes for this set as well, so I am going to dye all of this eventually, but just trying out how this ink goes down, if I want to have it here, if having a little bit of padding will help these stamps. These stamps are pretty delicate anyway. And it's not a bad ink. I will definitely use it and probably get some more of hers, especially if they're on sale. So I like buying ink on sale if I can find it on sale. And then I put them on a stamp block, and I did some more stamping on that piece of paper, but I'm going to do a stamp block right on Rhonda's layout. She has gold accents on her page, and I'm going to use silver because I have a lot of silver stuff. So just all over the place, rotating this the way I've got the stamp so that it doesn't look like it's a pattern, wiping some stuff down. That looks pretty good. I'm going to put it across to dry, and then I'm going to die cut these. So this, it has two dies for the snowflakes, and the little one cuts all the little ones out. And the big one obviously just cuts the big one out. And then I actually have dies for this penguin. So I'm going to line the penguin up and cut him out too. And I'm not going to show you doing all of the snowflakes and stuff because that is literally the process. And so I'm going to do that a whole bunch more times with the snowflakes. And yeah, I don't actually use those snowflakes on it, but that's okay. And then I pulled out this blue and white frame, and it's from a hip kit club, and it's going right on the photo right away. She had a little bit more off the ends, but my photo was not horizontal to start with, so my block will be a little bit smaller, but that's okay. So I was gonna mat it in black, and then I cut the black funny, and so I'm like, ugh, too small. I don't know why I did that, but anyways, now it's on the black, and then I was thinking about this blue, and I am going to use a little bit of this blue, but I'm also going to use some of this silver glitter paper that I've had forever, and there's a crease in it, and things have been punched out in random weird spots, so I'm just trying to get a good chunk, because I thought it would go all the way around, like that, but decided I wanted it a little off center and a little bit more than what I can see there. So I am going to get black on because I do want the black to be bordered. And then I'm like, yep, that's better. So instead of using up all that paper underneath, I'm just going to cut it out. They make really great hearts and stuff I have a little punch. So I don't get rid of any of that glitter paper if I can help it. And then it wasn't gluing very well, so I did put a little bit of washi to hold it in place until the glue dries. It definitely does need the glue and not the tape runner, just because of the texture of that glitter paper. And then that blue is definitely going to go underneath, and I'm like, all right, what else do I have? So I have my penguin, and I didn't die cut him perfectly, so I'm just going to black the edge, and then I'm going to pop in closer here because I'm going to color him. So I'm just going to use my Copic markers, or Copics, however you say it, and color him. I am not the best colorer, but it's all right. And so I've got a couple different grays that I'm doing where the penguin would normally be black, but I didn't want him black. And then yeah, I just didn't want him to be black. I have a lot of gray on my page with the silver, so I thought the gray would work better. And then instead of leaving his insides white, I'm going to use a lighter gray and color his insides so that he's kind of like, I don't know, gray looking. I could have done that with just outlined him a little bit with a really light blue, and that would have given him a crisp white look, but that's okay. This works, and it's on, and it's done. And I'm going to ink up the corner for the sweater, and then I'm going to do the shirt in a navy. If you want to know what my Copic colors are, just let me know in the comments below, and I can go look and see which ones I used. I don't have very many, so it's not a hard thing to do if you want to know. And then this is my color blender, and I was just seeing what I could pull out, and I'm going to go over top of this while it's still a little bit wet, so that it does do a little bit of a different, like the coloring just looks a little different. I don't understand why, but it does. It is what it is. And then this is an Inca Stella in silver, and so the cuffs of the sweater and the collar are going to be glitter silver, because why not? And then just fussy cutting off the last little bit of white that's there, because I didn't cut this very well with my die cut either, but that's okay. it can be fixed, and nobody would know if they didn't watch my video. So looking at my page, you'd have no idea. And then I decided to square this off just a little bit. And then, as it's just cardstock, I'm not going to really trim that down, but I do want it to offset a little bit. And I want more of the silver peeking through than the blue, but I do want some of the blue. And then I'm going to foam dot this little guy on the end. Get my photo down. Make sure it's straight. And then this guy on. And then I'm going to start decorating. So I have all of these metal brads that I'm going to put, they're snowflakes in silver. So I'm going to put a whole bunch of them on here. There ends up being 8, I think, on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's a sticker from a Studio Calico sheet. I said something about winter fun. I was thinking maybe that could be there, and it sits there for a while. And then I do have some of these acetate pieces. These are from an old Hip Kit Club. Deciding whether or not I want the sweater on my penguin. These are old dollar store stickers. They have some sparkle to them, and in the right blue, but I decided I didn't want them. This is a cut file that I have from a leftover page, or leftover from a page that I did probably over a year ago, and I just chucked it in my winter bin. So I did cut some of these out, and I was going to try this navy. I find that it's overpowering the layout though. So the navy's not horrible. I don't know. It's not what I had envisioned. So I'm still playing with it a little bit to see if it can work. And it could have worked. I could have 100% gone with this. But then I wanted to use these. They're snowflakes and they have silver glitter attached to them. I think they're supposed to be like an ornament, but I picked them up from like a sale rack probably 15, 20 years ago, and I've been slowly using them up. I still have a ton of these, but they're really bulky and they need a lot of glue to stick, and so I don't always use them very much, but it's going to get 2 on this page. Then I have, these are kind of like wood veneer, but they're really, really thin and they tear like paper. So I don't know, but they're not super easy to get out. So I do pull out 3 of these snowflakes that are like skinnier, and this one breaks into 3 pieces. So I am going to glue the pieces mostly back together. And on the finished layout, you can't tell that I had to do this, but it was a little annoying. I'm looking at the sticker sheet to see if there's a title that I can use or something else. And then there's this Baby It's Cold Outside. And I'm going to put it down here to start with, but it is not going to stay there. I did a lot of fussing with this layout. So the last bit of this is definitely a lot of fussing. So here, there, I don't know. Let's see. What about this? What about that? How about one here? Just trying to put those silver brads on. What about here? No, I totally want the house down here. And I thought the houses worked because the kids are in the backyard and they're shoveling the walkway. Not because they actually wanted to shovel the walkway, but because they wanted to make a big pile of snow that they could jump in. So I got pictures of them doing this. I think I've actually scrapped their snow fort already, like eons ago. Probably not a video for, I don't think. But these ones I thought I'd do today. And these are totally not going to match that other one, but that's okay. I don't even remember what the other one looks like. I'm just pretty sure I did it. So decided that the penguin does need his sweater. And I thought about framing with those really dimensional snowflakes. I thought about putting one down here. I'm just like, I don't know. This one is going to stay behind that head of the penguin. And then I decide the baby is cold outside is going to come up here, and that other sticker is going to come off. And I put the flipper over top of the baby it's cold outside, so it kind of looks like he's holding on to it. So, and I'm going to get more brads in here. I'm just going to put them here, there, and everywhere. And I like the wood one up against this acetate house. So that works out well. Putting more of this back together again because I moved it too much. And then the one piece can stay off because it'll be behind his head. And that's on. And then a wood one up here with the metal one that I put in to start with. The only thing I don't like about the brads that you poke through is you have to poke them through your paper. So you are committing when you poke. Like there's no, oh, I maybe didn't want that there. You are stuck. That's what it is. So this dimensional one's going to go on the other side by this other house. And then I thought a brad could go underneath and on the picture by the baby it's cold outside. So I used my X-Acto knife to put a hole through all of those layers. This came off, so it's going to go back on. And then looking for other spots to put stuff and thinking and time for title while I do some more thinking. And so I pulled out this letter this in silver, and it's a Hip Kit Club too. And I'm going to put on Let's Play. And then as I get the Let's on, I know I'm totally not where I need to be. So the last 3 letters I'm just going to put on the page so I have it out. I'm going to pull out my T-square, and I'm not going to make you watch the rest of this. And now it's on. So my T-square helps me get them straight on and lets me get the spacing right. So I put the play on and then the Let's, and then moved it over for how I wanted it. One more brad here. We're almost done now. One more brad here. Just so that it has like a symmetry on that shelf, because I've built pretty much a shelf for the photo. I thought about along the Let's Play and do a little look. I'm going to put one more here. It's, I don't know, it probably didn't need it, but I decided it could go there. And then I decided it needed just a little bit more silver down here. So I'm going to do that with the stamp and ink. So right by that in here. And then that is good there. And then I'm going to put some of the broken china smushed on my block. And I'm going to add some water. Mix it around. Do some splatters. I'm using a tiny paintbrush because it gives me tiny splatters. I didn't want anything super big. I wanted them to be still pretty delicate. And then I decide I'm going to put some color in and around the Let's Play on the frame or on the photo block. And I'm going to go up the sides and around the top and add just a bit more color. I can see it. I don't know if you would notice it otherwise. And then I'm going to do a little more and a little more. And then I decided that the corners needed just a little bit. And so I'm not going to do the whole edge because I do like the whiteness of that block and wanted it to maintain that column. But that little bit of blue on each of the corners does give it a little bit of a, this is where my page ends. So, and some close-ups because I've decided I'm finally done. So, and here are some close-ups as well for some still shots. You can see some of those are pretty fun. Anywho, thank you so much for watching today. Make sure you check out Rhonda on Instagram. I'll have her link below. Also, make sure you check out Pineapple Papers, who's the one who organizes the May I Scraplift You. The playlist will also be below. And thank you so much for watching, and welcome to all my new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you here. There's some other videos you might want to watch of mine. Thank you so much. Have a great day.